welcome to our little path. My name is Amanda if you are new here. Here we talk all things motherhood, homeschooling, and living out your faith. So today I am going to be discussing on how we integrate our faith journey into our home. I'm continuing on with my liturgical living series and just kind of showing you what we're going to be focusing on for the second half of this ordinary time as we move into the fall season and closer to Advent. Before we jump into all of our liturgical living talk, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I would love for you to go ahead and do that. You just hit the subscribe button below. If you hit the bell as well, you'll be notified every time that a new post goes live. I would love for you to join me, and hopefully we can keep encouraging each other on our homeschooling and motherhood journeys. So I'm going to link here if you have not watched my first video I did on liturgical living. Today's just going to be kind of like a quick overview of what we're focusing on in our family the next few months. But I did do like a whole video on how I plan and decide for the things that we want to do in our liturgical living for the month. I think that makes sense. Anyways, I'll give you a quick brief rundown. So what liturgical living is integrating the church life into your home life, because we, in the micro sense, are, our church at home, and then we have the church abroad in the actual church family at your local parish, and then your diocese level, and so forth. So how we kind of integrate the Mass and things like that, the different saints, into our daily lives. We try to focus on one saint a week and kind of celebrate them, doing different activities if there's different feast days and things like that, talking about the different feast days and celebrating those as well. So yeah, I had already planned through June, July, and August, and today I'm going to be discussing what our plans are for September, October, and November. I was going through the resources I like to use first. Let's backtrack. The resources I like to use are Catholic Culture online, and that I will link below, as well as Kendra Tierney's book, which ironically, I don't know where I put my book. I looked all over when I went to go plan yesterday and I can't find it. So I pretty much just used Catholic Culture because I could not find my Kendra Tierney book. But also online, Amazon was having a sale on the Von Trapp liturgical living book. So I went ahead and ordered that as well. So that should be coming to my mailbox here very soon. Gotta love those Amazon purchases. So, as I was scheduling or going through and looking on Catholic Culture yesterday, it's like, gosh, the next few months are such good months when it comes to liturgical living and like the different saints that you can celebrate and the different feast days and things like that. And so I personally try to keep it like to one celebration a week, because yeah, that's a lot. If I was doing something, obviously you could do a saint every day and that's totally fine. But if you're trying to integrate something into your day or your week from that saint, it can be a lot because different recipes and things like that or different activities can take up some time. So yeah, it was a tough one to choose. But I have a nice little, I finally got organized and I got a folder to put all of my stuff in, and I printed stuff as I was writing them down in my calendar. So I wrote everything out for each week of who we're going to be celebrating in our calendar, and then I went ahead and printed stuff. So I was kind of prepared. So I didn't do a great job this summer because we didn't really have a schedule. We were very loosely summer schooling. So I think now that we have a routine, I'm going to have the binder here, or not the binder, but the folder here next to my little cart. I think that we're going to be better at what we're doing. So yeah, and I kind of got a little crazy and wrote down everything that we would be doing for each week. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be really helpful. Some tips that I would say is when you're going through each week, write them on your calendar of who you're going to be particularly celebrating that week or what feast. And then I would also say is like make a list of, if you're doing different recipes and things like that, make a list of the recipes and then also print your recipes so that you have them ready to go. With me, a lot of the recipes that were on Catholic Culture or Catholic Cuisine, we have to tailor to fit my dietary needs because mom's the only one who really eats leftovers in the house. So if it's not gluten-free, if it contains eggs, if it's not dairy-free, or it contains corn, mom's not going to eat it. So we are already making foods for our country studies, and so that's kind of being inundated with that. So if we're doing saint food, the saint food is going to be food that mom can eat. So I had to go and look up like different recipes that kind of like alluded to the same style. So print your recipes when you're going through and deciding you're going to make some food. So that way here you've got it on a list and you can look at the week ahead and be like, okay, September 3rd, St. Gregory, we're doing a cherry tart. I'm going to need to know for my grocery list that week that I need to get some kind of cherry stuff for the tart. So, and which ironically, that is one of the recipes that I had to look up something different. So we are actually doing like a cherry oat bar with gluten-free oats because the tart recipe that they had was not one that I could eat. And who doesn't want like some fun cherry oat bars for breakfast? So that's what we're gonna do, is make that for St. Gregory's Day. And then another thing is St. Gregory, they talked about why cherries are important on Catholic culture and like why they kind of use that. And so I printed out the story so I'd have it ready to go as well. I just copied it in like a Word document and printed it out that way. So apparently, because St. Gregory the Great was a pope, he around April 25th, which is St. Mark's Day, wanted cherries, but cherries were not in season, obviously, at that time. So he sent someone to go find them, and they actually found cherries. So it was kind of like a miracle. But now I guess the popes on St. Mark's Day every year have cherries as kind of like an homage to St. Gregory. But you can also use cherries to celebrate St. Gregory's feast day on September 3rd. So that's how we're tying in cherries. So it's kind of nice to kind of see the little web that you can spin to kind of celebrate each feast or each saint, which is fun. So that is that. Print out special stories if you want to have them right on hand, and then print out your recipes so your recipes are ready to go as well. Also, what I've done for most of the saints or most of the feasts is I've printed out coloring pages, which that's pretty new too. So I just found free coloring pages online. So like we're doing St. John Chrysostom, and so I printed out coloring pages for him so that kids will just have that and they can do that during our morning school time, and I read about the saint's life. Some of them, not everyone, do I have food, and I try not to make it a sweet for every meal too. So like St. John, we're gonna do a Greek salad because he was part Greek. His mother was Greek. So we'll do some kind of version of like a Greek cucumber salad because the kids really like olives and cucumbers. So yeah, so for that we'll do that. And then some fun ones that we're gonna do, like the Feast of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary is on September 8th. So for that week, we'll buy some flowers for our home altar and put them on our home altar. We'll probably pray the Angelus too. So other things that you can think of to do for your liturgical living is different prayers and things like that, if a saint has a specific prayer or songs that they've written. St. Faustina, we're gonna tie-dye t-shirts. So I was like, all right, I went through the whole month of September and I was like, oh man, we've already gotten like a lot of food, which is fine. You have to eat anyways, right? But sometimes it's nice to do something kind of fun and unique. So St. Faustina, we're gonna try and tie-dye like kind of in the Divine Mercy rays. So that was, I think, on Catholic icing. So we'll try that. And then just something simple is like is it the Feast of the Rosary? All I wrote is Rosary. I know, I'm really, really on top of some of that stuff. But the Rosary is in October, on October 7th. And I'm actually finishing Our Lady of the Rosary. So I'll be finishing a 54-day novena on that day. And we'll just pray a family rosary. So it doesn't have to be something like crazy and all out. You can make it super simple. But this is Catholics' big all out, if you're doing liturgical living, is All Saints Day. I did not know about this trend until I kind of like got connected with the local Catholic homeschooling group here, is dressing your kids up as saints for All Saints Day and going to Mass or having a party. Totally didn't know that was a thing. So we've done it the past 3 or 4 years, dressing the kids up as saints. And most of the time I am like scrambling last minute. So I'm hopefully gonna not be scrambling and we can get some really good outfits for the kids this year. We'll see. I've got to talk to them. Isabel already wants me to make her Halloween costume. So that's gonna take some time. But Lewis thankfully has been like St. Michael for like the past 3 years. And so he's used the same wings I made that very first year in the same night costume. So that was an easy one. But that is like, that's the big, I feel like when I think of like homeschooling and liturgical living, which you don't have to be homeschooling to liturgical living, but liturgical living, like the big one is All Saints Day and dressing your kids up as a saint. It's really cute, it's adorable and fun, and it kind of like takes away from the Halloween and all the consumerism and stuff that Halloween can be. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff we're working on. I can post a list of what we'll be celebrating here to kind of show you and give you guys an idea. And another thing that I would say is we are doing country studies, and I had bought a book from Pauline Kids. Actually got it on Thrift Books, but Pauline Kids had a book on Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, and we did a, she was for like our Canada study. And the kids loved this book. The book was really well written. It was just like a pleasure to read with the kids, and the kids really like fell in love with her as a saint. And I think a lot of that has to do with how much in detail of the saint's life they went into in this book. So if you want to just do something simple, is pick a saint for the month of September or the month of October, and maybe buy one of these books and read it to your kids. You don't have to be homeschooling to read. Read to them at bedtime before they go to bed, and read like a chapter a night. This one had like 20 chapters, but they're short chapters. They're only like probably 5 or 6 pages. But you could just pick like a saint per month and do that. So if you're really easing into liturgical living and trying to integrate it more, is maybe even instead of just trying to do something weekly and do food and activities and things like that, is just pick a saint book and go from there. Obviously there's a bunch of like, you know, saint books that have like a saint a day kind of thing. Or, you know, they have like just like 1-page overview of the saints. But if you really want to kind of like dig in, and now the kids, whenever they see her on some of our other stuff, they're like, Saint Kateri. So it's really cute how they've kind of like fallen in love with Saint Kateri just by reading this book. And also we watched a few YouTube videos once we finished with this one on her. So yeah, that's kind of what our plans are for the next few months. Obviously, we're going to be rolling into Advent here soon, which is just crazy. So I will do probably another episode here on our Advent plans. So you could probably see that come November, but I hope that everyone is doing well, and remember that I am praying for you guys. If you will pray for us too on our liturgical living journey. It really is a beautiful thing when you can bring your children into the joy and the beauty of our Catholic Church and all the different celebrations, because we are a lively faith, we are a living faith, and it is beautiful to see your kids get to enjoy that as well. All right, have a great day. Bye.